happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down just by that title alone. You guys are definitely gonna want to see this one. So we got that Representative Ratchet, aka Miss Jasmine Crockett, her big mouth, back at it again, getting her into even more trouble. She's now sending threats towards Trump's Attorney General, Miss Bondi. Guys, I'm excited to get to this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's jump straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Thank the chairman. I now recognize the ranking member of the subcommittee, Jasmine Crockett.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And I first just want to begin with a news alert. Guess what? Joe Biden is not the president anymore. So maybe we can move on. Maybe we can move into the present, because it seems like we are living in the past. And listen, these are not the good old days, you know, like you used to sit around and your grandparents would talk to you about what used to happen. What we need to be talking about is how we are going to legislate, because I think that some of my colleagues have confused what our jobs are. And I get that we're sitting in judiciary. And so it may seem as if we are here to be litigators, but we are here to be legislators, which means that we are supposed to be writing laws, not trying to have our own trials and determine whether or not something is true or not, or whatever the case is, or who should be sued, who shouldn't be sued. All I know is that a great American hero, a good senator out of New Jersey, said something to the effect yesterday as he was shattering the record for holding the floor, a record that had been held by another racist in this country.
Wait,
as he shattered that, he said,
wait, what did she just say? Another what?
The record for holding the floor, a record that had been held by another racist in this country.
Which also suggests that she's calling someone else that. But I mean, come on, that word doesn't even hold as much weight or validity anymore, just because the way these folks on the left, they just throw it around. If you don't agree with them, they slap that label on top of you. It is so disgusting. And I also want to point out or question, where did Miss Jasmine Crockett's ghetto voice or accent, where's that accent at? I don't hear any of that. It's almost all proper English. What's going on? She's just such a code switcher.
He shattered that. He said something about the fact that this should not be about left versus right. It should be about right versus wrong. And I am going to tell you that I want us to focus on right versus wrong. The reason that we are struggling right now in this country as it relates to people not trusting agencies, honestly, a lot of it is because of elected leaders. Let me tell you, one of the things that the chairman and I actually agree upon, we don't agree on a lot, is that we both know that there has been a sharp incline as it relates to threats upon our lives. Regardless of what side of the aisle you sit on, we both know and agree that as sitting members of Congress, we both are enduring more death threats than anybody should in this country. And I believe that it is because of the divisive rhetoric, and it is because of the selective enforcement of things. And so when we have, and I
think I want to stop her there, guys, because you got to think about it. There is a reason why, it's the divisive rhetoric coming from these folks on the left saying that Donald Trump is trying to end democracy as we know it. That's the reason why him and his constituents are receiving these threats. But as for these loonies on the left, they're receiving these threats because they're way out in left field, la land, with their perspective, things that they're pushing out there. Heck, didn't Jasmine Crockett just call for violence and destruction of Elon Musk's Teslas? I mean, that right there, it's almost like these folks are bringing it on themselves and then trying to play the victim. It's nuts.
I'm gonna be clear, because I had remarks and I'm going a whole other way. To have the sitting attorney general go on, and I'm gonna call it faux news. I know some of y'all love it, but it's fake to me. To have her go on
Reality
Fox
is fake.
News and to then decide that she wanted to send a threat to me, it was wrong. Because here it is, she is the highest law enforcement agent in this country, and people are watching and they are consuming this information, and they are believing that simply because I decided that I wanted to exercise my right to free speech, which I am not abridged from doing, that she then wanted to then politicize something that should not be politicized. I don't like Elon Musk. I'm gonna say it 50,000 times. I don't like him. I don't like that he going out there and he firing people. I think that he's a crook because somehow the rest of us can't sit around and get whatever federal contracts we want. The rest of us can't sit around and get law enforcement and get them somehow ordained as federal law enforcement to protect him. The rest of us can't get our dealerships protected by the federal government. That is somebody that is operating.
And notice she's saying sit around. No, you can't sit around and receive the benefits or the accolades that Elon Musk is. You got to think about how much blood, sweat, and tears went into the grind, the dedication, and now he's reaping the benefits. It isn't like this guy just literally sat around and was just handed all this stuff on a silver platter. No, Elon Musk worked his tail off to get to where he is. His current position is almost genius. You know what I mean? And then this Jasmine Crockett, she's trying to play the victim. When she did the same exact thing, she used her platform, even worse, I argue, to call for a Tesla takedown day on her birthday. Is she not remembering this? And now she's mad at Attorney General Bondi for coming out and condemning her for her words? Yeah, your freedom of speech protects you from, being able to say, hey, I don't like Elon Musk, I don't like what he's doing, but it does not protect you to be called for violence on Elon Musk's company or the owners of his cars. It's nuts.
Operating above the law. For whatever reason, just because he has a lot of money, more money than everybody else. And yes, I am happy to see that on my birthday, which is what I said, there were peaceful protests around this world against him because he is a problem. And so you never should have somebody that is sitting that high and is going to sit up here and threaten a sitting member of Congress when she knew good and well, if she watched the entire thing, that I specifically told protesters to make sure you consult with lawyers, just like I've told protesters over and over and over in the history of me advising people to go out and exercise their constitutional right. The fact that there are other sitting members that have received letters of threat from this new DOJ tells me that they are about retribution and they are not about following the law. The reason that our party, or I won't even say our party, our country is torn apart is because we can't even agree on right versus wrong. This should not be left versus right. The only thing that we're asking is that we have law enforcement that will show up when there is an actual crime. If somebody calls and says, hey, I need you to investigate this cyber crime, or I need you to investigate this child pornography, or I need you to investigate this robbery, then we want somebody to show up, and we don't want them to look at us and act as if just because I'm black or because I'm woman that I am not worthy of having that case investigated, because we have an administration that is continuously railing against diversity, equity, and inclusion, or we don't need people that show up that feel like diversity should not be valued. That is why we should have somebody that may show up and looks like me. The final thing that I'll say, because you've been gracious, is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Stop
Hire
it.
me.
She said what?
And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, let me tell you something. When I walk in, I'm going to walk in with a level of rapport and understanding that maybe some of my other colleagues will not. Charlie offered me my job, and I worked my butt off, and I worked really, really hard for all of my clients, not just those that look like me. And that is what it looks like to serve.
Yo, there we have it, guys. I mean, you can't make some of this stuff up that this Jasmine Crockett says, Representative Ratchet. I heard her flipping back and forth between the ghetto accent and proper English back. And it just shows you how phony, how fraudulent she truly is. She goes up there, she just points that finger and says that everyone who disagrees with her is prejudiced with that R word. But then we hear her there at the end saying that she walked into a job interview and said she should get a job because she's black. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hop in the comments section. Let me know what you're thinking. The comments are open. I'm really excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.